let's talk to everybody about our table. Guys, this is the table we got yesterday.
Table and chairs.
Table and chairs. We got the table for $60.
And the chairs $10.
And the chairs were $10 a piece. We're going to take you on this journey of this table and chairs. All right, so talk to everybody. Tell them what we're discovering.
Well, one, we found out it's a Kindle. Well, and this was probably made back in the 70s, give or take. And so we know it's going to be American made.
Yes, woohoo!
We see a little North American van line tag on it. So this had been moved across the country at some point. What we were discovering was that we felt that the top was veneered mahogany. But yet when we look at the bottom of the top, it's also mahogany. So it's possible this top is mahogany because look at the grain. Mm-hmm. See the difference here? Yeah. So you've got these planks glued up.
Yes.
But what our question was, the edge of the top, if it was solid, then our grain would be running perpendicular. And instead,
it's
our
up and
grain
down.
Is running parallel, rather. Our grain is running perpendicular to the grain of the top. So they went and edge band this, which is unusual to have a solid top edge band. But I guess they did that for a number of reasons. Matter of fact, you can see right here where it's the edge band's been glued. What they do is, on a solid wood piece, the end grain is going to absorb the stain and go a lot darker than the edge end grain is of the top. So they may have done that to keep it uniform in the staining and to keep the coloring uniform.
So it doesn't mean, as far as, and this is something that we wanted y'all to know from home, as far as learning, as you're looking to buy the pieces that you are, one, big deal, Kindle is a good company and it's American made, and that's something that we're really wanting to promote.
It's Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes.
Not Grand Rapids overseas.
That's right. And but we wanted you to be able to understand. So you're thinking it's still a solid top. That's what we're dealing with. They just did this.
And it could be that the top of the top is veneered also, because I really didn't see the grain lines change like you do when you see solid planks glued up, because you can see there's definitely here,
yes,
here.
Yes. Ooh, but so are y'all seeing that?
Here.
So this area right here, do you see the lines of the planks where they would have glued up solid wood? It's not a plywood with a veneer on it. So it's solid.
But they may have veneered the top of the top just for consistency and decorative grain.
So that's a good word. That's something to point out for everybody to be able to learn when you're looking underneath a table, to be able to see that it is actually solid wood. You can see the seams where they've actually glued up the boards. And then the legs are also solid mahogany.
Yes, which is unusual because normally they wouldn't use the more expensive species for the legs for a couple of reasons. Normally they would use maple because it's a much stronger hardwood than mahogany is, and the way they stain it, they can camouflage the grain so you really don't know that it's maple, but looking at it, it's definitely mahogany as well.
That's exciting. And more than likely these are solid brass.
Oh, they're definitely solid
brass. Solid brass rollers. So the bad thing is there's no leaves.
True.
So we've got the mechanism.
The mechanism looks like this. They could probably have had 2 large leaves, maybe 3 in here.
Yeah. So we're excited. We've got our Kindle table, solid wood, solid mahogany legs, solid mahogany top, and we got it for $60. So stay with us on the journey of this sweet piece. It's going to be awesome and a lot of fun to finish. Hey guys, happy Monday. Guess what? We're at the studio and we are starting something. And this is turning into my new favorite thing. Taking you on a journey, buying something, and then showing you how we go about the process as far as rescuing it, restoring it, and redecorating with it. So here's something that I want you to remember. is when you are deciding what you're going to do with your piece that you have found, your treasure, you want to be able to really kind of experiment and create some samples with it. So I had an epiphany. I'm so excited. Y'all are going to die when you see this finished. I'm going to die. You're going to die. But we are going to be stripping this table. Jean's got it ready. I'm getting ready to turn my camera around because I want you to be able to see. But we're going to be using one of our products called Better with Age. And I'm actually going to take this table from looking like kind of a red mahogany to a gorgeous cerused black finish. You're going to die. You're going to love it. So, but we've got to go through the process of getting this factory finish off first. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to turn this around without further ado to show you my sweet husband and redoing this table. Here's the other deal. Maybe you can, by Jean doing some of these, you can grab your husband or your significant other and see, men do help with these women with this. Help me do this table. All right, so here we go. All right, so Jean, tell us what you're doing.
Well, first of all, quit calling me Magic Mike because I'm stripping this table.
Stop, Gene Howard. Oh my gosh, I gotta take him off, guys. What am I gonna do with him?
So
help me, Hannah. All right.
I am using a liquid stripper, and we're going to strip this lacquer finish off because in order to do the cerusing finish that Amy wants to do, we will have to remove the top coat or clear coat that's on here. So I'm taking some furniture stripper, using a brush. I'm wearing my protective gloves so that it doesn't affect my hand, but you know, they've the new strippers now do not use methylene chloride, and which was what would really burn your hands, but it was also the magic ingredient that made stripping much faster, much easier.
Larissa Daniels is saying she's laughing so hard. Larissa, you know Gene Howard.
Tell her I miss my chicken pot pie.
That's right.
So anyway, and I'm just brushing this on. Notice we've opened the table because I didn't want the stripper getting stuck in the split where the leaves would go. So I'm going to brush on, and I'm putting it on very heavy. I was going to say liberally, but
we're just putting it on heavy, honey. We're going to get you your own comedy show.
That sounded too political, so I'm just putting it on heavy.
So you wouldn't be able to work on this on a vertical surface. It's got to be laying flat.
This particular stripper is thin. It's not that gel. Now the gel, you would, if we were using it on a vertical surface, we would want that. But because we're using it on a horizontal surface, it makes it, it's fine just to use the liquid.
So guys, please work in a ventilated area when you are stripping the top of a piece of furniture. You want to make sure that you've got some air coming in there. We're going to actually open our garage door because we're working in kind of our studio warehouse. And you'll notice that Jean is also applying this with the grain because in order to be able to do the amazing finish that we're going to do with Better with Age, we've got to get this factory finish off. So, hey, babe, tell them about this table, what we found out. Remember, because we did a Facebook Live and we were telling them that it was a Kindle table. We got it for $60.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a Kindle mahogany. We looked at it. The top is solid mahogany, but they've used a mahogany veneer on top of the hardwood, of the solid wood, because they wanted a more uniform grain. And you can see here, you can see that flame grain in that, and it's repeated all the way down. And that's why they did this. But when we flipped it over, when you look at the bottom of the top, you can tell it is a solid mahogany top. They just don't make them like this anymore.
So the reason we're stripping this, we're just doing a light strip, is because we want to get the factory varnish off, the lacquer.
Yes, because we want to get to that grain we want to be able to bleach this and then ceruse it.
All right, so after we put this on, about how long does this need to stay on?
It's going to stay on for about 20 minutes. And as this evaporates, we'll probably have to go back and add more.
So that way you can kind of see the area before. So I wanted to take you through the whole process. So we're going to do multiple Facebook Lives as we're working on our Duncan 5 dining table that we got for $60. And y'all are going to absolutely love it. So the first thing we're doing is we are stripping the lacquer off the top. So we're going to keep working, and we're going to pop back on here when we get ready for the next step. Okay, talk to us. Okay. What's going on?
All right, so I'm starting with a flexible putty knife, just going through and removing this first layer. And again, remember, this was kindled back in the 50s or 60s, and it's got some very sturdy lacquer that's on here. And I'm just going to get this first layer off, and I've got a rag and my garbage to be able to put stuff on.
So we need to let this sit on here a little bit longer, don't we?
Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'll go through and get this first layer off, and then I'll come back and recoat it again.
The other thing we're going to be doing, guys, is we're stripping the lacquer off, and then we're going to come back and we're going to bleach the top. And that's going to get it ready for the Better with Age, because we actually want to do a black cerused finish. Y'all are going to love it, I promise. So it's like no pain, no gain. We've got to be able to take this down. This is like the stuff that's not fun. But it's put on some good music. Have some people that you can visit with, and that way
see where it's gone down, and we're getting down to the to the veneer. We just need it to do all over, not just those areas.
Okay, so you're just going to keep working?
Yep, just going to keep working, then I'll put another coat on it,
and we'll keep you updated. You see, we're in the all outdoors for a reason, and Jean's like, show them this. Look at this. Hold on, I want you to see. If y'all are up, or if you're following us, you'll see that we are working on our little Kindle table that we showed you on Saturday that we got for $60. It's a Duncan 5, and we want to be able to get rid of this red. So here's the left that you see that Jean has cleaned. This is a major honeydew. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to pay him back on this, but he's working hard. All right, babe. So tell everybody that's watching. Tell us where you are. What are you doing?
Well, right now on this half of the table, we're doing the stripper, and we're stripping the old finish off. And then once we get the finish off, then we go back and we wash it down with lacquer thinner and steel wool to get all the excess off. Then once we get it to that point, then we're going to come in with our sander and 220 grit sandpaper and slick it up, and we'll be ready to go for the finish.
So, but we're going to bleach it, right?
Yes, we're going to bleach it. That's the finish.
Oh, well, no, we're going to do Better with Age.
That's the finish.
Okay, got it. All right, so after this, so this you've done twice, right? You've actually stripped it twice.
Stripped it when we've gone over, washed it down with lacquer thinner and steel wool.
With the steel wool. Okay, and then we're going to actually just use bleach. We're going to let it sit out here in the sun, and then it's going to take it to a really pretty bleached white. Then we're going to do the Better with Age on it because we want to do a cerused finish. So I wanted to just kind of give you an update. Here it is. You see it's still real green, still real red. Once we get all this off, we're going to come back with the lacquer thinner on the steel wool, clean it down. That's going to get it to this, and then we'll bleach it. So stay tuned. Tell us where we are. Look at this. Guys, look how pretty our table is. Don't you love it? Looking good.
Here we are in the monsoon winds. So one of the good things about being outside is the bleach, the the sun will activate the bleach quicker and more thoroughly than if we were inside. So that's a good thing. And we're just using some regular household bleach, and we're going to bleach this for one. We want to try to get as much red out of this cherry. You know, cherry has that reddish orange color to it, so we're wanting to get that out. Bleach will get that out, and it'll also set us up for the next step, which is our better with age. And the better with age will gray it, and it'll look much better if we can get the red out.
Hey Laura, hey Brenda, hey guys, hey Dawn. So you just put regular Clorox bleach in that container.
And it can be any brand.
Okay.
That's just what we have.
Hey Miriam.
And we're gonna brush this on, just a nice heavy coat.
You're using an Amy Howard at Home synthetic brush that holds a lot, not a natural bristle. So after you put this on, now you're just going to let it sit in the sun.
Yep.
About how long? And do they wipe anything off after?
No, there's nothing to wipe off. You're just putting this on, and you're going to let the sun do the rest.
So then after the sun has hit it, is it going to go almost white?
It's probably going to take more than one coat. We'll probably have to do this at least 2 to 3 times.
This is going to dry out in about 20 minutes, isn't it? So there it is. That way you can see it before. And then just using a regular household bleach outside in the sun is going to allow this to be able to whiten it up and get it ready for us to do the better with age. Now, question. This side, are you doing the side as well?
Doing the edge as well. Also, when you do this, wear old clothes, wear an apron, because if the bleach gets on your clothes, guess what?
Yeah, it's going to have a bleach mark. All right, so tell us what we're doing, babe.
All right, if you've been following along, you know we found this Kindle mahogany table from the thrift store. And what's neat about this is that the top is solid mahogany, but the company decided they wanted it a more decorative grain. So they did a mahogany veneer, and you can see what's called flame mahogany, because you see these kind of flames going up in the grains of the wood, and they repeated that in both sides of the top. And what we did, we had to strip it, and I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. They used old school shellac or something on here. It was hard to get off, but we got it off. Then we went back with bleach, and we bleached it. If I remember right, we bleached it about 4 times outside, so that it would really get nice. But you know, mahogany having a reddish tint to it anyway, we could not get all the red out, but it's much better than it was, because we were trying to really make that red go away. And so we thought about using Better with Age on this, but we decided against it because some of that red would come back in that, and we said, no, we're just going to use the Cerusing Wax on it.
So here's the vision, guys, so that way you know. Here's our little chair, and we're going to walk you through. This is the chair that we got. These guys are going to go white. We're thinking to take this. We love the shape. Look at the pretty sides of the shape. And we're going to make our chairs go this really pretty creamy white. We're going to do the seats in white. We're going to do the base in white, and then we're going to ceruse the top. So that's the vision, that it'll go into a really pretty, clean, very monochromatic look. It'd be great coastal. And a lot of the homes nowadays, they're just not set up to have really dark mahogany furniture. So Jean's going to show us how to be able to do the top. So we've stripped it. We've bleached it with just regular Clorox bleach. And now we're going to do our cerusing. Can you just show me the cerusing wax?
Here's our cerusing wax. And I'm not going to apply it with a brush, because I'm using a rag, because I need that that pressure to get the cerusing wax down into the grain. And also because of the cerusing wax having this white pigment in it, it's also going to help kill that reddish color.
I'm loving this already.
And notice I'm working in a circle. What I'm doing is trying to push that wax down into the grain. You can see. And then I'm kind of going back because I don't want to leave the swirl marks, because when this dries, it'll be too hard to
All right, so
buff
question.
out.
Barbara has a cherry queen end table and she hates the color. Barbara, girl, this is what you need to do. So, okay, babe. So you're going in a circular motion.
And then I'm going back. And the reason I'm doing circular is I'm trying to get it to go into the grain.
So then you're going against the grain as well.
Mm-hmm.
So circular against the grain, and then you're spreading it back out.
Because again, I don't want to have those swirl marks after the wax dries trying to...
Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I wish y'all were here to be able to see this in person. This is going to be such a great top to go now with our base that we're going to be painting in the Miracle Paint, which is a water-based enamel. It's easy to keep clean. Here's the other thing. A lot of you don't realize, like here's the other one that we haven't done. See, look at the difference already. Can you see that? So we stripped the top of our table. We bleached it with just regular Clorox bleach, let it sit out in the sun. And now we've come back and we're doing the Cerusing Wax. A lot of you may not know, but our Cerusing Wax is one of the best-selling Cerusing Waxes on the market. It's beautiful. It performs well. It has a great quality to it as far as being able to just kind of squirt it out onto this rag. Gene's doing it in a circular motion, and then he's going against the grain, and then as it's wet, he's trying to kind of finesse it, aren't you? So that way you don't have the circles.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. This wears really, really well. You don't have to go back in and clean it. You just buff it. So that way if you want to reapply the wax, maybe every 6 months, so maybe just twice a year, that's all you would have to do. And once this dries, you can buff it so it just has a real natural sheen to it. It's not about it being bright and shiny. What's something else that people should know just as a caveat?
Know that your wax is not impervious, and if you put a wet, like a glass of ice water, iced tea, and that glass sweats, it will cause a ring in here that'll be difficult to get out. Because the wax is not impervious, it's not going to prevent.
But you can go back over it later with the wax. We can just go over the whole table like 6 months from now if we wanted to.
You can, but it won't get the ring out.
Right.
The ring's going to be in the wood, not the wax.
I want to be able to hold this up so that way you can see the stop mark of where he is. Let's look at the side by side. So he's going to go back through and even this up, but we wanted you to be able to see, let me see, will that make darker wood become lighter? Please have someone type in here, I'm deaf. Okay, Darlene, we'll do that. I'll go back in and add that. But yes, as far as those that are watching, it will allow a dark wood to become lighter. Part of the beauty of this, we don't want to take away from that gorgeous pattern of the veneer that they put on top of here. Again, this is a veneer that has been put on top of a solid wood, but it's got such a pretty pattern to it, we didn't want to take away from that. And we thought it would be fun to be able to show you. So do you want to stay on doing this, or can we show them how to paint the base, or should we finish the top first?
I need to finish this.
Okay, all right. So what we're going to do, so guys, I don't know if you heard this. Let me go back as far as who was asking that question. Gretchen. So I was going to do Better with Age. That was my plan, and I'm actually working on a lot of Better with Age finishes for my finishing school, which I think you're a part of. because I'm wanting to show you, we literally have gotten about 40 different species of woods that we're working on with the Better With Age, and I was wanting to use it on here, but when I started looking at the base, and we wanted to be able to do it in white, because we're going to be doing our sweet little chairs in white, we thought really and truly it would be prettier to be able to do the cerusing wax and to lighten it. So Billy, as you pop on here, say, hey, I'm so glad that you're tuning in. So here's the deal. I want to tell you again. So where we are in our steps, we stripped the top of our table. We bleached it out in the sun. And now we're putting on our cerusing wax. Babe, can I let you show that again for people? So this is the product that we're using. It's called our Vintage Wood Mercantile. It's our cerusing wax. And it is one of Amy Howard's best-selling products, truly, on a lot of different venues. People love the way it works. It wears well. It goes on easily. It's really, really pretty. Hey, Megan, how are you? Good morning. So we are putting this on top of the raw wood. We want to be able to have this really light color. We feel like this top is really going to complement doing the base in white. It's really going to be very fresh. It's a much fresher new trend that we've got with lighter furniture, and this is just the perfect product. So don't look at it right now as far as judging it. I want to let you see. Look, here's the half and half. Here's the side that he's done. There's the side that we're still working on. So it really does make it a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Now he's coming back and just kind of finessing it and buffing it. Honey, that's beautiful. That is so pretty. It's so pretty. Guys, do y'all love that? Isn't that gorgeous? And you can still see the pattern in the wood, and that part of the reason why they did the veneer. Guys, if you share this video and tag some really good friends that you want to see this, your name is going to go in for a drawing, and we're going to be giving away the cerusing wax that you see and some clean slate for you to be able to do this on your project. All right, so we're going to keep working. Yes, Billy, and it's a sealant too. It's a wax. The good thing is, once this has a chance to be able to kind of set up, and we'll come back and we'll buff this, it's going to have a really pretty, nice, subtle finish to it that is absolutely gorgeous, and is going to be for a great finish for our miracle paint that we're using on the base. So we're going to keep working on this. We're going to go to the other side and start waxing it. And then that way, when we get through the waxing, we're going to pop back on here, and we're going to show you as we start to paint the base to be able to match our top. We'll see you in just a bit.
All right, we waxed our top. We used cerusing wax, and now we're going to paint the base, and we're going to use the 1 hour miracle paint. I don't know if that's an hour to recuperate after you finish all this work, or is that the time it takes to dry, but what we're going to do first, of course, we're going to clean this with Clean Slate, which is our cabinet grade, furniture grade cleaner that removes your wax, oil, grease grime, just the buildup that happens over time. And I poured it into a plastic bucket to make it a little easier. And the nice thing about Clean Slate, it does not leave any surfactants, and surfactants are the chemicals that will prevent the paint from adhering.
Hey guys, as you pop on here, say, hey, this is almost a marathon. When we do these types of furniture pieces, we want to take you through the whole process, but we love being able to connect with who's watching. So just as you pop on here, say, hey. Here's the other thing. We are going to be, on this segment, we're going to be giving away a can of the Miracle Paint for those of you that share this video and tag some good friends. This is the Miracle Paint that we're working with. Jean, talk to them real quickly about the Miracle Paint and how it's different than the One Step even, or chalk-based paint.
Right, the Miracle Paint is not a chalk-based paint, but the properties of it are similar to our One Step paint in that it will adhere to an existing finish without having to sand, prime, or strip. But now you will get a bit of a sheen. It's more of an eggshell. It's not as flat as the one-step paint is, but it gives you just a little bit of sheen, which a lot of people now, they're wanting their cabinets and their furniture just to have a bit of a sheen to it. And you don't, like the one-step paint, you don't have to seal it. But this is more impervious to staining.
And it's an enamel.
It's enamel, and it's water-based. So
it's water-based.
Water cleanup. And it's not porous like the one-step paint is.
So you're going to show us how to clean it real quick.
So I am cleaning the apron. And right now I'm just getting the excess clean slate off. Because we don't want to put the paint on with the the clean slate still wet on the surface. We want to make sure all that's off.
So Gretchen, the Miracle Paint really isn't, you could use it on walls, but it's very, very hardy. The great thing about it is you don't have to use kills. If you've got surfaces that have varnish on it, that have shellac, that have factory finishes, the Miracle Paint is a water-based enamel. And so the great thing about it is impervious to like scratch mark. You can take a key and rub across it. You can scratch it up. You can pour food on it. You can wipe it right off. So I want you to be able to see this. Look at the color already. Look at that. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be so exciting. I'm going to come back here. Can you see already how the color, and a lot of people are like, don't paint wood. Guys, here's the deal. We're wanting to keep furniture out of the landfill, but we also know trends. We know furniture, as far as being really dark mahogany colors, are not as in right now. We want to be able to take things into linens and whites and bleaches and really light colors. And so being able to look at the top. Isn't that pretty? Didn't Jean do a good job? In order to be able to bleach the mahogany on the top and then use the Miracle Paint on the bottom, it's going to allow us to be able to have a table with our little chairs truly that looks like an entirely new piece. Jean, does it matter what kind of brush that you use?
We're using a synthetic, and the nicer the brush. I wouldn't use a chip brush on this. This is a synthetic chip brush. It's thicker, but I'm using one that it's going to give me nice clean brush strokes on here. Now, we're painting a light color on top of a dark, so it's better to do 2 light coats than it is 1 heavy coat. So you are going to have some of the existing color come through, which will get covered in the second coat.
So the key is, how long does this need to dry before we put on the second coat?
Well, it needs to be dry to the touch, which is going to be somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the temperature of where you're painting. If it's humid and warm, it's going to be a little quicker than if it's cool.
This is something that we really don't point out a whole lot, but we probably need to. Products by Amy Howard at Home are made in the USA. We're very, very proud of that. And the fact that a lot of the products that you see are Better with Age, our milk paints, our cracked patina, all of those different products that you use on making paint is actually made in our studio. And so we're just very proud that we can say that these are American-made products. And somebody's asking, Carolyn's saying, where can I purchase this paint? One, Carolyn, if you share this video and tag some friends, your name will go in for a drawing where you can actually win it. But you can just go to amyhowardathome.com and you can buy it online, or you can go to the website and look. We have some fabulous boutique retailers that also sell our paint as well, that they will happily educate you and show you how to be able to use it. So made in the USA is great. I agree, Bonnie. All right, so we're going to keep painting. Stay tuned. We're going to be working on this. We're going to start to go over, and we're going to be painting our chairs. So the same thing is, I don't know if you remember these chairs, we're going to be cleaning them with clean slate and painting them, so that way we're going to have a gorgeous new dining table set. And I don't know if y'all remember, we got this dining table for $50. We're so, oh wait, that's right, the table was $60 and the chairs were $10 a piece. They're saying maybe you can get a microphone. So I'll have to get closer so they can hear you. All right, so Jean's going to keep painting. Stay tuned. We're going to give you an update in just a few minutes.
We're back. And I apologize, when I work and I get into it, my voice doesn't project like it should, but I apologize for that. So we've put a first coat on, and keep in mind we were putting a white on a dark color. So when that happens, you're going to have to put at least 2 coats on it. And I would rather put 2, even 3 thin coats, so that it dries quicker and it will also adhere quicker. Whereas some people will think, oh, I've got to get this all in 1 coat. And if you do that, the buildup is probably going to cause runs. It takes the paint longer to cure because it's so thick. They call them, the thickness is in millimeters. And if you get it too thick, then it won't cure, it won't dry properly. You may get cracking. So we would rather have 2 to 3. Now, I'll try to cover everything. I don't want any, quote, holidays, unquote, as Amy would say, which means just a whole area that didn't get paint on it. But you see it looks real streaky. So can you show this area right here? It is dry. Let me put a little, it's not as dry as I'd like it to be, but look at this second coat. And the second coat will go on much quicker. So you can see the difference between the 2. And chances are I may do a 3rd one on here, but that's okay. I'm going to put it on thin, and I'll put it on quicker so that, again, it will cure quicker, dry quicker, and I'll get full coverage.
Can you take them down here and just show them one that you painted?
Mm-hmm. So look at this. I'll look at you from my knee. So the pedestal, this leaf, acanthus leaf with the little lamb's tongue carving. This is the second coat that's on here, and you can see the difference between the legs and the post.
So the legs have 1 coat. Mm-hmm. We've put 2 coats on the acanthus leaves.
On the pedestal part, the legs I've not.
So it allows you to be able to see what 1 coat. Here's something else that's kind of good. There's no bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no need to have to go in and do shellac or anything to be able to cut out the bleeding from the mahogany, because a lot of times on mahogany there is bleeding. So Jean is painting on our new paint. Babe, can you turn that around so that way they can just see? We're painting the base with our 1 Hour Miracle Paint. It is an enamel. It is a water-based, clean with water, easy cleanup, water-based enamel. This is beautiful on cabinetry. It's beautiful on a finish like this mahogany that we're doing on this little Duncan Fife table. You don't want to paint fabric with this because this is an enamel. But as far as it being hardy, you don't have to kills it. This has the kills in it as far as being able to prime it. Look what that second coat is doing.
Well, it's not kills.
Right.
It's not kills that's in it. It is just that it's got a
that primer in it, so you don't have to kills it. Right. Good word. So As you're popping on here, guys, tell us where you're tuning in from. Share this video, tag some friends. You're in the process of being able to see the table that we're doing. See, look at the transformation that's taking place already on our little table. And now you can see the cerusing on the top. How pretty it's going to be. Now, I have a question. Tell me what you think. Over here on these acanthus, would you like for us to add a little bit of gold leaf, set it back and distress it? Or do you like the idea of the table having just this beautiful white pedestal that we're going to be able to have with, look at this, we're going to give you a sneak. Look at this, look at our chairs. With these gorgeous little white chairs. Or do you like the idea of having some type of gold leaf added to it? I probably wouldn't put any buhl under it, but tell us, just kind of vote on here. Yes, Amy, add gold leaf. No, Amy, don't. We love the simplicity of that ceruse top with the base. And I'm going to clean up these feet because these are solid brass. And I'm going to love the contrast that they're going to be. You know, here's another thought that we might be able to do. Just in that way, gold leaf. Thanks, Laura. Okay, so here's my other thought. We could come in here and we could just do a gorgeous band about that wide and gild a band. I'm liking that idea of just having a band on this apron. That way, the band of the gold leaf here would complement with the brass on the bottom, but it wouldn't be too overpowering, and it would allow this table to be more casual. Do y'all see that? Part of what I love about this is the fact that we've gotten, we're taking this little Duncan 5 table from a period of a long time ago of that mahogany that we really don't want to, use it. We want to be able to make it to where it's usable nowadays, and so it's more casual. This now, with this ceruse top and this base, you could put this in a kitchen with some linen chairs, and it would look adorable. Would y'all not agree? Simple is better. Say, Leonora, you know, it's like, that's what's so interesting about it. But I will say this, I'm with you. I like the idea of it being kind of simple, but somehow, I don't know, thinking about just a little gilded band there on that edge might actually be really cute. I'm curious. Y'all tell us what you think. As you pop on here, just say, hey, let us know where you're tuning in from. Tell us if you think we need to do a simple gold band around the apron. That way, when we clean up our claw feet, they're going to look great. Share this video, tag some friends, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you say, I agree, or yes, tell us. Yes, no guilt. Yes, guilt. Do a band. Let us know. Let's be specific, because we want to do something that you get excited about, and hopefully it inspires you on the piece that you're going to be able to do, because heaven help us, I know there are a lot of Duncan 5s out there that could use this. Elevated casual. Love that. No guilt. It's going to be interesting to see. Gold band on the apron. No guilt. So y'all just like the simplicity of it with those feet and the ceruse top and then our white chairs. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting ready to paint some upholstery, so stay tuned. Okay, guys. So we wanted to give you an update just for today on what we've accomplished. So we did our ceruse top, which we are loving. Look at this. Look, look, look. So we're just loving this real coastal, clean trend of the base now, just being this beautiful ballet white in the miracle paint. Look at this. I took some of my tape off so that way I could see my my little brass feet and how pretty it is with the white. I just think it's yummy. And look at this over here. I'm even getting it to where we've got our white chair here that we've done in the Ballet White Miracle Paint, that you can see how pretty it's going to be with this table. See, look, there's that one. There's the original sitting over there. It's like the little sad one. He's like, what are you going to do to me? But look at the difference. Isn't that wild? It's just yummy. So here's the other thing that I'm noticing. And that way, if you're not familiar with the Miracle Paint versus our One Step, the Miracle Paint is a water-based enamel. So I've got a little bit of light. Can you see the sheen? Can you see the sheen on it? It's got just this really soft, subtle sheen that, one, makes it really easy to take care of. You've got kids that are going to put their feet and things all over it, and you're not going to have to worry about it scuffing or scraping. We do not wax the Miracle Paint. The whole point is that it's sealed. It has the primer. It has a sealer in it, and you don't have to seal it. Any words, Jean?
Also, when you're painting, especially if you're painting for more than an hour, you want to make sure that you keep your paint stirred. You want to make sure that your brush stays wet. So if you set it down, you may want to have to go clean it out before you use it again. Right now, I'm just going around and checking places that need any touch up and going from there.
Well, you're doing a great job. It's absolutely beautiful. Kudos to Jean.
Thank you.
So guys, here is the progress. Tomorrow I'm going to come in and probably just on the apron, as you guys have voted, we're going to come in here and measure it out and do just a very small kind of gilded pinstripe. We don't want to make it too dressy. I'm going to actually play with it on something I want to be able to see, because I am loving the simplicity. Like, knowing that's going to be my chairs, knowing that the cushions are going to be just a little bit of a taupe, a pale white taupe, seeing the brass feet against the white. Let me know what you think. And just playing off of this top. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So I'm toying with the gold band or just leaving it like this. So tell me what you think. And are you liking the contrast of the Ceruse top with the base and the finish? See, I just love the fact that it's clean. We're not going to wax it. We're not going to antique it. We're not going to do anything to it. We're just going to have it like this, and it could be just very clean, on trend, and almost kind of coastal. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Okay, y'all are so great. We have the best community. I call it my tribe of creatives that love rescuing and restoring furniture. And I love when I ask you what we should do, you sincerely and genuinely become invested in the project. So thank you for that. As you can tell, we took the number of votes that you had as far as should we do a gilded band on the apron or should we not? And we decided to keep it more of a casual, help me. Somebody, you had the word, it was more of an upscale casual. Would you think about this little Duncan Fife table? Just to remind everybody, if you're watching this and you didn't watch it before when we actually found it, the table was $60 and our chairs were $10 a piece. So it was $100 for the table and the chairs. So the table itself is solid mahogany. It's a Duncan Fife. It's an American company, Kindle. And so we've got a great piece of furniture that a lot of people are like, well, it's outdated, it's not on trend anymore, I don't want it. My house is a real light color palette. That's why I wanted you to see this. So our grandmothers, our mothers, maybe our furniture that we had when we were first married, don't get rid of it. Restore it, change it, refinish it. So look at the base. Can you pull away? Can you see? Look at the brass feet. Look at this finish. We painted it with the Ballet white Miracle Paint. We did on the top, we stripped it, we bleached it with Clorox. You can go back and watch the video that Jean showed you. Now, stripping is a beast. Just for those, I am so used to being able to use a milk paint. It has no VOCs. I work with our waxes, I work with the one-step paint, the Miracle Paint, all those, and I'm not used to stripping. But I knew that I needed to be able to see this gorgeous grain of the wood on the top. So we stripped it, we bleached it, and then we did our Cerusing Wax, which is really pretty. It has a great finish, and I love it in combination with the Ballet White. This is what I want to show you today. So we also painted the chairs in Ballet White Miracle Paint, but look at the seat. Can you see the color? Now, This is something that I want you to be able to do, and I'm getting ready to show you, because you'll notice that there's a lot of life to the seat. There's a depth to it, and the way to be able to get depth and texture and a really pretty finish is by layering. And so I actually painted, I'm getting ready to show you this, and I created a custom wax color that I put on top of it. And the other thing that I love, if you can see this, look at this color. It's a very soft monochromatic contrast. By having this gray color with the white, it just pops. And look how complementary it is to the Ceruse top. Do y'all see that? If I painted the seat, and I will tell you, we did some, we tested, as some of you said, Amy, do like a gold metallic pattern on it. We did, but it looked a little busy. And here was the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted the texture of the original damask on the fabric to show up as a pattern that was really, really, really subtle. Sometimes that's a great thing to be able to have. So I wanted to be able to show you this first, what we did to the seat in painting it. I'm going to show you the original if you forgot. We're getting ready to go over there and do it, and how you can create this yourself. So let's come over here. I'm going to bring my seat with me, so follow me. All right, so I want to lay this down so they're side by side. Here's the original seat. So you've got in the pattern, and if you run across this with dining chairs, it's okay. A lot of people are like, oh, well, there's a pattern. So if I close my eyes and I just kind of rub my hands over it, I can feel it somewhat raised. And because of the threading and how this went through the loom, intentionally, it's got a different texture for the damask pattern, which is what this is, and this pattern here. So when I painted it, I had somewhat of a horizontal threading look here, and then the damask became a raised pattern. So at first when I was painting it, I was like, I don't know if I like that. So then I actually played with coming back and recovering them. But then I came back and I waxed it, and I love it. Because, look at this. I hope this can show up on camera. Can you see the pattern? It's so subtle and so pretty. And the great thing about it is, if you've got grandchildren, if you've got small children, if you've got messy family members that touch upholstery, and they, whether it's spaghetti sauce or chocolate or food or grease, and they touch your dining chairs and it ruins the upholstery, guess what? It can't bother this because it's impervious. I could literally take a glass of red wine, I could pour it on top of this, and it's going to shrivel off and just fall off, and then I can wipe it with a dry rag. So the idea of painting upholstery, a lot of times, many of you may not like that idea because you're like, I would never paint a club chair. It works, but it's fantastic on dining chairs because it makes them so easy to work with. So this was my original cushion, and I wanted you to be able to see what it looked like with the pattern. Now I want to take you through the process of what I actually did. So here's the deal. One, thank you for tuning in. If this is the first time that you've run across this, my name is Amy Howard, and I am the mother maker here at Amy Howard at Home. I am a serial DIYer. I love creating more upscale looks the DIY way. So nothing jazzes me more than finding a piece of furniture that has great bones, great quality piece like we found on this Duncan Fife and these chairs, and being able to turn them in such a way that they're going to go into a darling new home. I have an exact place where I think this would look perfect. So let me show you what I did. I've got three things here. I've got my Downy, which is my fabric softener. I've got my one-step paint, which we're working in Ballet white, and some water. So here's what we talked about last time when I painted our chair black. You can go back on YouTube or Facebook and see when I had painted a chair in black. And I was really worried about the blue, that you can get white or clear fabric softener, but guess what? I backed off on just a little bit of my fabric softener because it was all that I had here at the studio, and it worked. We were worried about the blue. It did not affect my color at all. But here's how I changed the formula. I did 1 part water, a half a part of my fabric softener, and then 2 parts Ballet white. So that's my formula for this, because I backed off just a little bit. I knew that I was going to get the softening agent of the fabric, but also it did not change my color at all. It's still Ballet white. So I mixed that together. And now what I'm gonna do on my seat, I'm just gonna mist the fabric. Now, you wanna make sure that you're using a mist, not that stream of water. You want it to mist. And it's not about getting it saturated. It's just a little bit. I do want to get it everywhere, but by misting it, even on fabrics that have retardant agents in it, what happens, it opens the fibers. And so when the fibers are open, it allows the paint mixture with the softener and the water to be able to go into this. Never paint with straight paint. And you cannot do this with acrylic-based paint. You need to be working with a paint like Amy Howard at Home's One-Step Paint, because it's a chalk-based paint. And the formulation of it allows you to be able to use it on fabric. We do not use miracle paint on fabric. We don't use milk paints. You've got to be very specific when you're working with this. So I've misted it, and now I've got my concoction on this. And here's the other thing that I forgot to say. Share this video and tag 3 friends. Your name is going to go in for a drawing, and I'm going to be giving away Cerusing Wax, a can of 32-ounce Ballet White Miracle Paint, and some Pigment, and some Mind Your Own Beeswax. And so you're gonna have a full package to be able to recreate the same project that I did. And all you have to do is share this video and tag 3 friends, because that's what we say, sharing is caring. And it allows somebody else to be able to learn how to do this and say, oh my gosh, I have a friend that has that exact table. I don't know if y'all know this. We throw away over 28 million tons of furniture in this country every year. And a lot of that furniture that we're throwing away is American-made pieces. So we want to be able to go green and save a chair and be able to recycle these pieces that have a new life. All right, so I'm going to go in and take my concoction of my softener, my water, and my paint, and I'm just going to paint over this. Now, here's the thing that I want you to remember. I'm going to go on and paint actually this direction, because this is the way my fabric is. Here's the problem that a lot of people, or mistakes people make, is they think that they should get solid coverage with no holidays or any streakiness on the first coat. It's better to put on 2 thin coats than 1 heavy one. And the other thing is, as I'm putting this on, it's going to pull the fibers of the fabric up, almost like whiskers. And so it is going to bring the fibers to the top just a little bit. And when it dries, you're going to notice it's rough. I'm not worried about that, because I'm going to allow it to dry. And after it dries, I'm going to come back with some 320 sandpaper, and I'm going to sand over the seat that's painted. I'm going to dust it off, and I'm going to put on my second coat. So I wanted you to be able to see this. See, I can see the pattern, and this is definitely okay. This is my first coat. All right, so I've got one. I'm going to go in and hand this off. I've got one that I've already done. So, a lot of people talk about, well, Amy, what does it feel like? And it has some feeling of kind of a cross between a canvas material or maybe a vinyl. And so the ability to be able to have this to where I'm putting over it, this is 2 coats. I lightly sanded with 320 in between. And then on my last coat, I lightly sanded it again. So that way when I close my eyes and I'm feeling of it, it's smooth to the touch. It's not rough at all. But I'm gonna finish it off with something for 2 reasons. I'm gonna wax it, because the waxing, what it does, it makes it supple again, it makes it soft, it's easy to work with, it makes it very easy to clean. But here's the other reason I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to see the details of the damask show up again. Could I leave it like this? Absolutely. Do I need to seal it? I don't have to.